Hello, hello, hello. What's good, people? It's currently 4 minutes past 8 p.m. UK time, Friday, the 10th of May, 2024. Welcome to another episode of NFT Fridays, which is a free weekly webinar covering everything non fungible tokens, digital assets, tokenization, metaverse, all of that good stuff. On today's episode of NFT Fridays, we have special guest Rahmat, who admittedly I am not so familiar with. However, my co-founders Keison Rigg and Mr. Michael Harding are more so. Rahmat
Yeah,
is the founder and CEO of Shark in the Suit, which we will get into very shortly, and he's today's special guest. Let's get the quick intro and disclaimer out the way, and hopefully our CEO will be joining us. But it's all yes, sir. So, for those that are unaware who we are, Blockchain Sensei, we are the UK's leading Black and Asian owned Web3 solutions and financial literacy company. We solve a lot of problems in the space. So, come to us with your crypto problems and we'll see if we can provide you the solutions. We provide financial literacy at multiple prestigious institutions, including but not limited to Imperial College, Anglia Ruskin, Cambridge University. We do 3 free webinars every single week. We do Mondays, which is the game. That's our legacy show, every Monday, 8 p.m. till 9:30 UK time, covering stocks and crypto and macro fundamentals since 2020. Wednesdays, we do an in-person workshop called Create Tech. We've been running this for 11 weeks in a row now, which is crazy. And this is an in-person Web3 and creative AI workshop. Fridays, we have NFT Fridays, which is today's show, of course. And then Sundays is our charts and trading show with BitBlonde Core, technically speaking. Click the link in all Blockchain Sensei social media bios to get to superjoy.com/blockchain sensei. This is, don't need to mute anyone. No, good. This is everything that you need to stay in touch with us, including our free Telegram, free webinars Mondays, Fridays, Sundays, 8 p.m. plus. Our YouTube channel, which has, I believe, around 400 financial literacy videos, including around 300 replays in the past 4 years of streaming. And also our Dojo subscription service, which is where you basically get access to myself, Jay, Mr. Harding, and even Keish in a private Telegram. This is where we share our pre-sale opportunities, stocks and crypto calls, results channels, and there's also a Ninja and J channel in there. So let's get into the disclaimer and let's crack on. Keish, you want to do disclaimer with me? Maybe he's doing something. All right, go on, start it off, laddie. Please do research. Not me. I missed it. I missed the course. Risk. Damn. All right, Keish. Oh,
Yeah.
Harding
Can you
has
hear me?
entered the room.
No,
Mr.
I've been
Harding.
here the whole time. I've been here the whole time.
Oh, have you?
What do you mean? Where, bro? Where? I didn't see you. I didn't see you. I've got to come on camera for this. Where are you? Where?
Bro, my camera's not working.
Yeah, since when, bro? Since when? You have the 4K camera right in.
That's because I'm using the 4K camera to record myself.
When?
Since now, I gotta record myself. Our creative director said, "Yo, Mike, you are so good looking. You need to just start recording yourself. Forget the other guys."
No, that's biased. That's biased. That's biased. I think we've seen enough.
Blockchain says it has a creative director. Like Dom.
Yeah.
What do you say? What is it like? Dom said that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. See, Dom does more than creative direction. Basically, Dom is like Wendy from Billions and a creative director, and
to be
does
fair,
social media. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
He wears lots of hats.
Yeah. To be fair, although
That's
I can't
true.
get the background to stay in this video, it's pretty annoying.
I think you should use it as a webcam, and then we can take the recording from whatever you say and send it to you. I think that's better. But talk about that off stream. Anyway, we're gonna go straight into it. Or do any news that you want to cover first, or should we just go straight in?
Let's just go straight in. My guy's been waiting for us for a hot minute.
Yeah, man. It's where I'm at. I know this is your first episode here with us at Blockchain Sensei, so you're probably wondering what the hell. This is really a show. But yeah, man. Over to yourself. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your journey. So thanks for joining us and being here. And yeah, we're excited to hear more about yourself. And welcome to NFT Fridays, man.
Okay, cool. No, thanks for having me. All right, here I go. So my name is Roman. I am the founder and CEO of Shark and Soup. So Shark and Soup is a multimedia entertainment IP. So imagine Rick and Morty and The Office combined. So that's basically what I'm trying to create. What I did before Shark and Soup, I was a product manager for some big Web3 projects such as Grapes, Vika, Gami. Worked very closely with Cool Cats founders. And prior to my Web3 experience, I had my own consultancy around fast-moving consumer goods. So I know how to bring a product to market, into supermarkets, into the shelf. And fell in love with NFT technology in 2020. And then made that transition into the sort of Web3 environment.
Nice. Okay, so you know how. Explain to me how you get goods onto shelves.
When we do a deal with a supermarket?
Yeah, because this is important information. This is a big game.
Yeah. So you need data. You need to do a pilot run first. So whatever that product is, you need to do a test run with a small community first. And if you can show some compelling data there, some KPIs, and then you factor in, a 5 or a 10x to it, and then you show that to the supermarket, and they're always looking out for these products. So the doors are always open. It's not gatekept, and it's literally an email sent to them. And then if they see the numbers, they will sign you a deal.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
Okay, so when you say you got to show them the numbers, what kind of numbers? Are you talking about revenue? Are you talking about profit? Are you talking about customer retention?
It can be anything. It depends on what the product is. Like for example, I used to deal with a lot of cosmetic clients. So the way that works is there is a standalone formula that the supermarkets will look at, which is the profits in this case, and that's because it costs a very small amount to produce cosmetic products. People don't know this, that actually, it's done by milliliters, right? 20 mils, 50 mils a bottle, and it's extremely cheap compared to the price that they put on the supermarket. So, like for example, if it's a £50 bottle at retail price, it probably costs you about less than £1 to make, depending on the volume that you do. So that easily a 50x
So is that
right there.
where something called margins is important?
In this case, yeah. So the margin is not necessarily that important. They just want to know how much profit have you made based on your customer size. So if you sold 10 bottles this month, 20 bottles the next month, and they can see that, okay, there's profit, they will take it in, and then they might do a deal with you and say, all right, we'll provide marketing for you, we can pump it out for you, we see that we can work with this product with our community, with our customer base, and we'll do some marketing for you. So it really depends on what the product is and what sector.
Interesting. So the reason I ask all of this, and the reason I ask about margins, is because for me, that's one of the principles of business, right? It's one of the principles, one of the 101s of business that people don't realize. Like, we aren't taught when it comes to our investments to actually pay attention to the revenue, the margins, and the net profit. But at the end of the day, pretty much 99% of businesses are based on these things. Like, if you're running a business, sorry, I'm trying to record this at the same time I'm doing this. My background just not having it. So sorry. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you are trying to run a business and you don't know anything about revenue, then unfortunately, you're probably not running a good business. If you don't know anything about net profit, which is profit, then you're probably an even worse business person. And then if you don't know anything about margins, how are you even getting your profit? So these are the key principles. But unfortunately, loads of people think that they're great investors, but they have no idea about any of these three things. But these are the first three things that we kind of teach in Blockchain Sensei. So that's why I thought, you know what? It's funny that you're mentioning this because people don't see how it's relevant until it's relevant. So any of our community that were in the call where we discussed Right at Blockchain, this was one of the things that we looked at. And the reason why I'm talking about these things, about what makes good business, is because what's your game about?
Are you asking me what the game is about, as in Shark in the Suit game?
Yeah. What's it about?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's about business, basically.
Oh, look at that!
Wow.
Oh, what are the chances? So, okay, yeah, expand a little bit for the audience, like.
All right, sure. So Matt is our game developer. He's also a co-founder of Shark in the Suit. So he came up with an economy simulation game, and the idea really came about his involvement within this category of games, from his involvement in certain communities. And this is a type of game that tends to do very well in a community-driven story community. So what that means is that there are these gaming communities that tend to, share their personal experiences, their sort of work experience, their life experiences, and then they kind of like make memes or game related sort of banter around it, right? That's what a community-driven story genre tends to communicate. So going back to the game, the title, we're calling it Fishbowl, and it's an underwater sea economy, and where you can open up a company ABC, whatever it is. It can be a fashion company, it could be a stationery company, it could be anything. You open up a company in the game and you run a simulation of it. So you're, rather than running the business in real life, you're running a simulation of that company in the game. And the basics for a simulation game is buying and selling. That's what it's all about. You buy resources, you sell at a higher price, you find the demand, you create surplus of resources, you can take profit of that, etc., etc. So that's how a economy simulation game works. It's a standard game mechanics, and we want to bring that onto the blockchain.
Nice. So when you're saying standard game mechanics in terms of you buy and you sell, so is the aim of the game to make some revenue?
So the aim of the game is, so this is our unique selling point. So the aim of the game is you need to hire the most workers and sell the most surplus resources. And the way the game works is we have daily missions. So these are missions that we will create at first hand internally. And then slowly, once we build up that data, we have a progressive AI in the game that collects the user's movements, monitors their responses and the comments, and then we can feed that into a generative AI to start now pumping out new missions based on people's interactions of the game. So eventually we'll just create this core loop, and then we can create missions that allow people to predict demand, maybe even find an opportunity, investment opportunity, get in a bit more early, start producing resources early, and then start creating that demand and talking to people in the marketplace to buy and sell resources. So the aim of the game is hire the most workers, become the richest by selling surplus resources.
Nice. And I believe that there's a comedic element to this game as well, right?
Yes, there is. So this game is one of our products from Shark in the Sea. Shark in the Sea is a bit more than a game. It's also an adult animation series. And the way the game and the TV series, the way it works is we will take epic game scenes into our TV series. So for example, we could have a theme for the week where everyone becomes peanuts. Everyone's character has now become a peanut, and now you have to, start producing almonds, and then people are going to start talking trash about this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we get a lot of engagement because of that peanut theme, almond theme, sort of conversion that we've done with resources or people's profiles, if we feel like there's a lot of engagement, we can take that into the actual TV series and start creating a meme-like, comedy-like sketch out of it. So this is something that worked very well with a game called Blazeball. So Blazeball is a community-driven simulation game. And the way that worked was the community dictated baseball, a fantasy baseball league, and they decided the players' names, what they wore, what they looked like, and it was just pure entertainment. Pure entertainment. We're talking about millions of downloads, millions of views, and gameplay. So we've got that sort of community insight from Matt because he was part of that community once upon a time.
Okay, that makes
Amazing.
sense. Okay, so have you got a demo or anything that you can share, or any screens of the characters or anything?
Let me see what I've got. Give me a minute, guys.
I know what it is.
Let me see what I have here.
Whilst you're doing that, I'm trying to sort out my screen. I finally. Let me see if I can just connect this up to this master media. Master media. Is it you? You can stop it recording me now.
Okay, I've got a deck with me here, so I can run this through. All right, let me share my screen, guys. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So as you can see, multimedia entertainment IP. So we've got a series of characters that represents workplace dynamics. So that is the main substance of this brand, of this IP, that we represent workplace dynamics, which is office politics. So you got a problem with your manager, gaslighting, backbiting, all that funny stuff, right? So we've created a whole brand around that.
Rama, I got a huge problem, man. I remember back when I was working, I had the new guy coming to try to take the position above the position. I had a bunch of stuff happening, man. So I can already tell that boy, this is highly relatable. You know, if you've had that one person in your workplace that's, you know, the backstabber, the snake, the I'ma tell the manager, the why are you
Oh,
on
the
your phone?
snitch, the amateur manager. I hate that person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
bro.
hate that
Yeah.
person. I remember.
So I think
They're like
that
the
they hit the nail on the head.
6ix9ines of the
They are the
office.
6ix9ines, man. They are. I think he's hit the nail on the head with this one because, you know, I think it's just highly relatable. You know, imagine a comedy series that you're watching and it's just like you can just see your life playing out in lots of different amazing ways. So yeah, but yeah, continue.
All right, cool. So this is just a quick summary of some of our traditional IPs in the market. You got your Pokemon, Hello Kitty, Mickey Mouse, Star Wars. Obviously, these guys, they all have their own unique selling point. Some of them went into games, some of them into merchandise, some of them started off as a TV series, and they've all obviously had their little niche. But based on this data, you can see all the revenue comes through merchandise, most of them, right? So something just to highlight that, all right. Yep, they all started off with the TV series games, but most of the money comes from selling merchandises. So an area that we explored is called community-driven stories. So it's a genre that's not well explored, but there are opportunities and some players there. So you've got your traditional simulation game, which is called Blazeball. So they became very popular in 2020. Not sure if it's because of the COVID, but this game did extremely well because of the entertainment aspect of getting the community to drive the story. So whatever the community answers in the game, that gets put together and they spit out different missions, different stories, and etc. But this game didn't survive too long, and that's because it lacked monetization. It didn't have a way to generate money to sustain it. We know that there is demand for this type of game because there's a recent investment that went into a company called Prosperous Universe. So this is a very complex simulation game. I believe is to do with spaceships and galaxies, but we know that there is appetite for this type of games. So our game is called Fishbowl, which is a community-driven simulation game. It is driven by the community. So you come in, you set up your own company, and then you're pretty much free to negotiate with people on a chat service and find out what they have, what sort of resources they can give you, predict demand, maybe create a group, work together, complete missions together. And it's really based around these sort of fundamental game mechanics where you produce resources, you find missions, you select the ones that you think you can complete. You've got surplus resources, you sell it into the marketplace, or if you need to buy some, you can buy some. So like, for example, the mission could be you've got 48 hours to produce seaweed. So you will click on your workers, so your little people that you've hired, and you just select the workers that could produce seaweed, and you just let them run for 48 hours. They produce seaweed, and if you've made enough seaweed, then you complete that mission. If you don't have enough, then you have to go to the marketplace, negotiate with people, and buy that extra seaweed that you need to complete the mission.
Interesting. What are the different ways that you see, the different players interacting with each other? You just explained the marketplace and the seaweed side of stuff. Are there any other areas of interaction or main points that you see that
Sure.
people can...
Yep. So the marketplace is it's the main place for you to go and do your buying and selling. But then we've got a chat service. I don't know if you can see on the little at the bottom right. Mm-hmm. This is where you've got an opportunity to just talk to the community, predict demand, maybe even try to hire people into your team, so you can negotiate there. You can start communicating in that sort of chat service. But then the cool part is all of that information is being organized into data sets, and we're going to feed that into a generative AI that then gets posted as what he called it story bits, but which is basically news. News that people can just read. So you can see that on the bottom left. So people can engage with those news articles. So it could be random stuff. It could be about game related stuff, but the idea is to generate game missions as well as engagement. So on that side, you can engage as well. So ultimately, about 2 to 3 areas for you to engage and communicate.
Incredible. That's nice. Really cool. Yeah, I love it. I think it's really incredible. Sounds really cool. And can you tell us a bit more about yourself? About your journey. I think it's very interesting to see what you've built here and are building.
Yeah, sure. I think my journey really started when I fell in love with NFTs. Back in 2020, where I saw an opportunity. All right, okay, this is a game changer for a fast-moving consumer good market. I used to work for a company called Eagle Moss. So this is your big UK/European physical goods collectibles company, and they've worked with big IPs like Marvel, Walking Dead, Disney, Lamborghini, big titles. And I work very closely with one of the business devs directors, and we saw that there is a trend where physical is slowly turning to digital, and NFTs could be, the solution here. So we saw the data. He's actually one of the advisors of Shark in the Suit, and that's when I made that decision. All right, yep, I need to start thinking about an opportunity in the digital world. So I left my sort of fast-moving consumer product manager position, and I landed a position within a Web3 gaming studio called Gammy. And they hired me to pretty much take their product to market, help them take their digital product to market. So Gammy is creating, imagine Street Fighter and Dodgeball combined. So it's quite funky. So I helped them raise through the NFT, the token launch, had that first initial experience of Web3. How to build a community, how to launch products, and working with developers and etc. That was a pretty good success. Then Vicas, that's great, reached out to me. They wanted me to pretty much do the exact same thing for them, but this time on a larger scale. So they've got investment backing from Animoca, about 4 million, I believe. And I helped them pretty much from scratch, design, manage the NFT collection, how that works in the ecosystem within the series of games, launch their token, design the whole mechanics, the utilities, and etc. So I think I've got about 2-3 years, solid years of Web3 experience. But I haven't, so I haven't seen in the market a solid IP. I haven't seen a Web3 IP that has traditional IP strategies implemented into it. And this is where the fast-moving consumer good, the collectible experience that I've got, where I'm taking that into a Web3 IP and trying to be a bit different here.
Yeah.
Class Podgy Penguins or
Podgy Penguins is an interesting one. So I absolutely love Podgy Penguins. I think they are, definitely in the forefront of bringing on board Web2 people into the Web3 ecosystem. And I see Podgy Penguin as the Hello Kitty of Web3. And they are heavily focusing on merchandise. You can see that based on their campaigns that they're doing and the strategies of marketing, etc. So if you look at, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. How do I do that, guys? Am I still sharing my screen?
No, you stopped.
Oh, okay, cool. So if you look at IP strategies, you need to have 2 factors that needs to go into designing any IP. One needs to be a technical advancement, and the second one has to be a cultural relatability. So just to elaborate on those two, so we've got an IP lawyer who advises us on this, and also I've got the experience with Eagle Moss to do so. Culturally, what we mean by that is, what is the relatable aspect of this brand to the users, to the consumers? How can people relate to it? So Pokemon, Mickey Mouse, Harry Potter, they all have a cultural relatable aspect to it, which is pocket monsters, which is training your own type of monster and growing it. Everyone's always dreamed of doing something like that, where you've got your own little companion and you're taking it from 0 to 100, right? It's an emotional attachment. Hello Kitty is just complete cuteness. Is taking over, everything and a complete overload of cuteness. Pudgy Penguin is doing the exact same thing, where they've taken a traditional cultural relatable aspect, which is cuteness, and their technical innovation is Web3, where Hello Kitty, they never ask their users to scan the QR codes on their toys and then take them into Pudgy World, right? That connection has never happened with Hello Kitty. So this is where Web3 and Pudgy Penguin makes them a bit different compared to Hello Kitty and other players.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so where can people follow you? Where can people sign up to a wait list or whitelist or anything like that to interact with you and the brand?
So Shark and Soup, we've got pretty much all the socials, I believe. So you can find us on Twitter, join Shark Soup. We've got a website, we've got more socials on Medium, we've got Instagram. I'd probably say the best place to find us is probably Twitter. So join Shark Soup. We're pretty active there.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's open it up for questions. If anybody has any questions in the audience, just before my battery dies and I've got to shoot. Do we have any questions? Crypto Boss, you got a question?
No questions.
No questions. All good. Crag, any questions?
All good, man.
All good. Debem, any questions? No questions from Debem. Ninja, last but not least, any questions from you?
Eventually, yeah. So as you saw on the slide, merchandise is one of the biggest revenues givers. So yeah, merchandise, toys is something that we do have plans.
Nice. I've got another question as well. Could you tell us a little bit more about the team, and what does the team look like as well?
Okay, yeah, sure. So collectively, we've got about just over 30 years of experience of design, marketing, creative campaign, pretty much in the entertainment industry. So we've got myself, I'm the founder, obviously. We've got Matt, who's a co-founder. He comes from Warner Brothers. He worked on Looney Tunes, some other titles. We've got Dave, who is also another co-founder. He's our creative director. He's worked with Samsung, KitKat. He pretty much handled most of their creative campaigns. So he is our go-to for branding and colorways and character design and stuff like that. And then we've got our actual character designer, who's Carlos. So he's worked with Nickelodeon directly. So he's created our series of characters, our NFT collection, and he'll be working very closely with our storyteller in creating the TV series. We've got a whole team of illustrators. So these are freelancers who's come in to help us out on some small little gigs. The team's scattered pretty much all over the world: Malaysia, Brazil, UK, Romania, US, Singapore, Colombia. So yeah, so everywhere I'd say.
This team is stacked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say we're quite heavy on the design team. As you can see, we are an IP, right? And we've got very good partners actually. So Lightflow is a Web3 tech service provider. Good friends of mine too. They've handled, they pretty much handle the Web3 development of the whole portfolio of Animoca, you can say. So they've got a lot of clients that they're dealing with. So they do provide us with some tech support, I'd say. We've got Tom, who's one of the founders of CoolCat. He's one of our advisors. We've got, I think that's about it actually. So yeah, so that's just a quick summary.
Nice. Right, that's a great way to mic drop and end it there. Thank you very much for jumping on today's webinar. Short, sweet, powerful, informative, and a bit of education for people there. Can't wait to be able to play the game. Can't wait to be able to, to get this out there. Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, everyone, for jumping into today's episode of NFT Fridays. Ninja, do you want to shield the dojo before we bounce? Perfecto. Right, guys, I'll see you all later. See you in a bit.
See you guys.
Bye.
Appreciate you guys.
Hey, guys.
Bye bye.